Handicapped Kid here. Alright, going to do a video I haven't really done, ever done a video like this. Sorry, my cats are going crazy. Okay, but I'm going to talk about Spider-Man real fast, and the reason I'm talking about Spider-Man is, to this day, Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, like, period. Well, I'm going to say or American hero, non-manga hero, non-anime hero. And the reason for that is probably because he is the only superhero that I kind of can relate with, in a way of, you know, most of the time you see him, he's still in high school. I'm not still in high school, I'm too old. But when I got, first started, he was in high school a lot of times, a lot of the variations. You see him constantly struggling with everyday things like food and rent, taking care of your family, stuff you normally don't see. The other, side of heroes. Heroes are usually like Batman. They're really rich. They don't have to worry about that stuff. Or Iron Man, really rich, doesn't have to worry about that stuff. Captain America, they showed a little bit in the movies of how, everyone he loved is pretty much dead because he was in a coma for so long. But, Black Panther's a king. He doesn't really have to worry about all that stuff of, rent and food and stuff. He's got to worry about his country. But that's something me as an everyday person can't really relate to. I don't have to worry about the country as a whole. I mean, I do watch the news, I do keep up on stuff, but I don't, have a thing of advisory going, so it's not something I can relate to. But I'm going to talk about a couple fan theories with Spider-Man, and why I love Spider-Man so much real fast, and why I think the movies going forward for Marvel, Spider-Man is probably going to be some of the best. And number one reason for that is they have picked a person to play as Spider-Man. If you watched my Shazam review, I talked about how it's very important to me that the actors love the role, love the character. And Tom Holland, I believe his name is, as I've said before, I suck at actors' names. He obviously likes the role of Peter Parker. That going through, they have done really good with Spider-Man so far. And I don't know, I think it's mostly because the villains in Spider-Man. And that's going off of probably because they've been used before, so they didn't want to repeat them. And the villains have been used before, of course. They've done Doc Ock. They've done a Venom, with Tobey Maguire in 3. They've done Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, Sandman, the Lizard. They teased Rhino at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2. And then they have, they've done the Lizard. I said the Lizard. Electro in Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man 2. They've done these villains, so they've started doing things with Tom Holland Spider-Man. Like the first solo villain we saw with Spider-Man Homecoming was the Vulture, and it worked because the Vulture is a big villain in the Spider-Man universe. He's so big they even used him in the Spider-Man game on PlayStation 4. And they tell you a bit about his background, which is a great game. If you have PlayStation, haven't played it yet, I recommend playing it. They used him, they did very well. And then there's the emotional tie-ins that, his arch enemy, or the arch enemy at the time, the big bad guy, the guy he was trying to stop, was his girlfriend's dad. That was really nice. And then in this next one, Far From Home, he's the villain that's being shown is Mysterio, which is great because, well, it's a villain that hasn't been done. In fact, I haven't seen Mysterio in a video game, or I'm sure he's probably in a lot of the older TV series, but I haven't seen Mysterio personally since the PlayStation and in Nintendo 64 Spider-Man video game. That's how long it's been for me. So when I saw him on the big screen, I was like, oh, yes! Okay, so I love that, and I think that's probably why Spider-Man's going to be great. They're using his villains, and he's got enough. They've looked like, okay, these ones have been done because there's been Spider-Man movies before, and they're not going to keep renewing the Venom or the villains. They did do a new Venom course, they did his standalone movie, which worked great. I loved Venom. It was a great movie. However, I think they need to, now that now that Disney owns Fox and has rights to the X-Men characters and Venom, I think they need to do a Venom Spider-Man movie. Not even a Venom Spider-Man movie. I think it'd be really cool if they do kind of their own twist of the separation anxiety comic storyline. I haven't actually read it yet. I have all of them. I need to sit down and read them. It took me a while to find the whole series because I like to collect, and I'm an old school collector. I won't go online and find it and then buy it. I like to hunt the item down myself. It's just how I am. I haven't read them yet, but essentially, Eddie and the symbiote that is Venom get separated, and they try to get back to each other. I think they should do a movie like that, where somewhere down the line in the movie, Eddie and the symbiote get separated again, just like they did in Venom, except instead of at the end, them getting back like they did in Venom, they kind of key off that the symbiote's dead to everyone, except Eddie, and we find out no, he's still got the symbiote, he's still alive. However, I think they should do it, and they should have Eddie Brock himself at the end believe that the symbiote is dead now, and then have Eddie going to do after credits. Now fast forward the movie because I have no idea how the movie would go. Fast forward the credits. Eddie, next, there's a big scene or something, and they could do, and there's an explosion in New York. Eddie's there to cover a story, and he runs and bumps into Tom Holland, who's running to, go change, and when he bumps, get that, that feeling of it's hard to describe, but that feeling that they get when they, wait a minute, do I know them? Or I feel that I know them. I feel something familiar, and have him look back at Tom Holland or Peter Parker, as he would be in the movie, and have, Tom Holland turn around and I'm sorry, and then have him, see Tom Holland fix his collar or something, and you see the black suit Spider-Man black suit underneath. That would key up a movie for a black suit Spider-Man movie, a movie with Spider-Man in the black suit. That could be it, and then we could have a movie with black suit Spider-Man, and then somewhere in there, we can have the same kind of problems, but better done than the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, where the symbiote, good anger and everything else towards, he ripped it all off and stuff, threw it away or something. And at the end of that movie, we can have, bring back in Eddie Brock, have him find the symbiote again, and just do a real quick, somehow, bam, now we have Venom with the very similar powers that Spider-Man has, just like a lot of the older comics, and the older video games, like I said, mentioned earlier with Mysterio and the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64 Spider-Man game. Venom, has similar powers to Spider-Man. He's got web shooters and everything else from copying Spider-Man's DNA when he was connected to him. I think that'd be a very, very, it would be a long setup. However, if done right, in my opinion as a fan, that should be how it should be done. If it's done right, it can set up, done through 2 movies, another Venom solo movie, and another Spider-Man solo movie, and then we have our Venom with Spider-Man powers that would probably have his hatred for Spider-Man for being thrown aside, because as he's ripping him off, now that the symbiote actually, it's not like the old symbiote in 3, which was just kind of there. It was an alien life form. It actually talks to Eddie in Venom, if we have the same thing, him talking to Tom Holland or Peter Parker, as he's ripping him off and telling him that without a host he'll die, without, you're killing me, you're murdering me, just letting him know that this will happen if I don't have somebody I can be a part of. Then, with that in mind, now the symbiote will have his hatred for Spider-Man, and I think if it's done right, that could be 2 or 3 movie setup right there. That could actually set up a nice, kind of Venom Spider-Man side-along movie where they have to work together or after they fight. It would be really well done, and if it's well done, it'd be a really good storyline in my opinion. But that's just my Spider-Man fan my Spider-Man fan projection that I would like to see happen. I know it probably never will because, well, you know, it's just how it is. My last fan theory, I was nowhere even close. I talked about in Star Wars Battlefront 2, how you play through. You got the main character you play as, and her buddy who defects from the Empire with her. They fall in love, and the last battle being on Jakku, I was like, they're Rey's parents. But no, because but they released a continuation of the story, and they're not Rey's parents. So, however, I was nowhere on the mark. However, they did introduce a character in that I'm looking forward to seeing more of. Hopefully, we'll get more. But this is about Spider-Man, so that's what I think should happen. I think it'd be really well done if they do it right. I know I talked for a long time here. Thank you for watching. All right, guys, if you watched it all anyway, all right, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit that notification bell as well. If you want to get notified when I upload new videos, I try to upload on a schedule. Someone already complained to me once in a comment. My upload is kind of sporadic. I don't have a schedule. I'm trying to get more on a schedule. I try to get my martial art videos uploaded. Either right now, if I do them, they're either going to be on Mondays or Thursdays when I upload them. And then my movies and video games, anime-related stuff, I'm going to try to upload on the weekends. That way you guys aren't bombarded with like 5-6 videos at once, because I'm sure that's really irritating. You still might get bombarded with 5-6 videos at once because the martial art tutorials are really easy for me to do. It can do like 5 in a day, and it's really easy. I do them all on my phone. Okay, make sure you give me any suggestions of anything you want reviewed. All right, I don't care what they are: video games, anime, movies, books, comic, manga, whatever. I will, if I have it and I've already read it or seen it or whatever, I'll do a review on it. I will, the moment I see that, the moment I get a free chance, I'll sit down and do it. All right, and I won't be like a lot of people who will read it and then just eventually do it. I will acknowledge your comment and tell you that I've seen or done this or read this, and I will get online and I will do that video as soon as possible, as soon as I get the free chance. If I do not own the movie, video game, book, whatever, I will find it. I will rent it. If I can't rent it, I will buy it, and then I will play it or watch it, and I will let you know my thoughts and comments as soon as I can. That's how that works. I do it so you don't have to, because we all hate when we spend money at the movie theater, and it's an absolute waste. I don't know. I do. I mean, I know I hate it. I'm sure you do as well. I hate going to see a movie thinking it's going to be amazing, and it's sucking. I started doing this actually pretty soon with movies after Ghostbusters 2016, because that was a waste of money, and I thought, if I do it, no, if someone was doing it for me, I wouldn't have to do it. However, I couldn't find any small YouTubers who did it, because big YouTubers, they actually do this for a living, and they're sponsors and everything, then they have a reason to lie, in my opinion. Not that they do, but that's why most of my YouTuber subscriptions, if you look through, they are either political, skateboarding, or smaller. I don't follow gamers or movie critics too much because, well, I'm a movie critic myself. There are some great people out there, though. You should check them out. My buddy Parsville is one of them. All right, you can find his channel on my follow list. I will put a link in the description below for you. Catch you next time.